Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and do I got something amazing for you today. I have here a special early preview play copy for a game that is coming to Kickstarter on June 18th. The latest in the Renegade Games solo hero series and a game by John D Clair. I present to you Unstoppable. Unstoppable is a deck building card creation style game, which to me is a mechanic that blows my mind. It's something that I've thought about before, like how could you possibly make a card in the middle of a game and like really make it so this way it flows naturally, it seems to work together and things along that ways. Unstoppable does it so well in a way that I would have never dreamed of being able to do it at all. And apparently John D Clair is known for this type of mechanic, the card creation and whatnot, so I really want to play more of his games in the future for sure. But Unstoppable is so amazing in what it does, and it just makes every single game unique because you never know what new monsters are going to show up and how you will inadvertently make them stronger. I do just want to mention that this is a prototype version of the game. There is still going to be some changes to it in the long run. I believe that they said they're going to make some of the wording a little bit bigger, change stuff around, just a little bit easier for people to see and understand. Personally, I think it's fine. A lot of it the way it is. Yeah, little tweaks here and there is fine and dandy, but the game itself is solid in terms of its rule set and whatnot. There are how to plays out there and whatnot, and for this, I will be showing you how to play as I play a game using one of the 3 available bosses that are in this particular prototype box. Now, does that mean that there's going to be more than 3 bosses when it actually hits on June 18th for the Kickstarter? Maybe. We'll have to see. I feel like there's going to be a ton of things that are going to be unlocked and surprises showing up throughout the course of that particular campaign because there's a lot to this game as is, and I can only imagine what else they can add to it to make it even more of an epic experience. So with that, why don't we head on down to the tables this way and show you guys exactly what this game is all about, run through a play for you, and then of course show you what it means to be unstoppable. Though I don't really know how well that's going to turn out because I have played this game probably a dozen times and I have not won once. Maybe this will be our lucky chance. Let's get down and find out. And here we are, ready to become unstoppable. So, the way that I'm going to be laying this out for you guys for this recording is going to be here, which is going to be our main play area, and then the markets on the next camera, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But generally, you're going to be setting these up the same exact way every time you play. You do have the option of getting these awesome neoprene mats. I was actually upside down. I apologize for that. Once the game goes live on Kickstarter, it's a great way of like knowing where you need to put all your stuff. Like this is where the threat deck goes on the top, and then all of your upgrade cards, your upgrade pack, which is in your market, and then it flips over to the other side as well. So you get your player boards, your threats, and then just some extra space for things and whatnot. A little bit big for my camera space and whatnot, so that's why I have things set up here, but definitely something to take a look out for once the Kickstarter goes live, again, on June 18th. So in Unstoppable, you play as a hero trying to defend your world against some type of crazy cataclysmic world-ending event that's going to be happening. In this situation, we're going against the Triumverate, which I think is like a group from what I've seen on the story in the back and everything, because if you flip this over, you get a little bit more details about how to set it up and then background lore and story for each of these guys. And these are pretty much a group of black market individuals that are buying and selling and doing really bad, shady things behind the scenes. So I chose to play as Julieta, which is a teenage Viren activist, power to the people. She is now trying to stand up with her other allies and friends in order to take down this shady organization. So that's what I am playing today. You have 3 more characters within the box that you can choose to play as, each of them having their own uniqueness to it, and 2 other bosses also that are very unique because the Triumvirate here deals with these 3 locations over here. These locations are unique to this boss. The other 2 will not have these. They have their own mechanics and their own ways in which you go about beating them. That is the main way you win the game. The only way you win the game is by beating the boss. In this case, I need to deal 5 damage to, well, this card, which I guess represents the organization. 5 damage to that will ultimately defeat it, but I can't deal any damage to this while at least 2 of these are in existence, and each one of these has their own health value to it. I need to do 3 damage to this distribution facility, 4 damage to this black site hangar, and 5 damage to this mega casino to at least flip them over and become inactive, in which case once 2 of them are like that, I can start going after the boss. Easier said than done, because the only way I can deal damage to it is by defeating certain enemies that come from this deck, where 2 of those are already shuffled into that deck. So how does the deck work? You actually have a starting deck of 10 cards, as you would expect there to be. The majority of them are these strike cards right here. There's like 6 of those, and then there's 1 that gives you more credits, and then each character has 3 unique cards to them that are also shuffled into there. And mind you, with the Triumverate, I have 2 other cards shuffled into there. If you were playing the Harbinger, there'd be other cards shuffled in there as well. Their own unique cards for those bosses, by the way. The way that cards work is that on one side of the card are the abilities and actions that you as the player get to take on your turn in order to be able to defeat the various threats that are going to come out. What are on the other side of the card are those threats. You're very rarely, if ever, unless you have a special ability, going to draw from here and put cards into your hand. Instead, these are going to come out into the field. You're going to fight them and beat them, and after you beat a card, it comes to your hand. That's how you draw it. Then you just kind of work your way through the deck, defeating enemies, activating their special abilities, and once you completely go through the deck, your character levels up. How do you lose this game? The first way you lose this game is if your health goes all the way to 0. The second way is this danger level here. Escalation is going to be a crazy thing you got to deal with going through the game, and if this marker makes its way all the way here to the skull and crossbones, all the way at the end, you immediately lose as well. This is also the difficulty system of the game. You'll notice there's a bunch of these that have various highlights around them: red, yellow, and green. If you're playing normal or easy mode, I've seen it called 2 different ways. I'm pretty sure it's normal mode. You skip the green spots down here. So that means you're going to move the marker down and around. And if you ever get to here, you jump over those 2 and you immediately lose. The hard or next level difficulty would be getting the yellow one skipped. So if you were here, you would skip over that yellow one and move down faster. The hardest difficulty is skipping all of the red ones, and there's a lot that you're going to be skipping on this. As this moves down, the threats get stronger, which is what the numbers in the upper left corner represent. And then, of course, you'll be able to do other things as well, as you see by these icons, all of which I will explain as we go through the game. Again, your hero has 10 health. You'll never go above 10 health, but you can always heal back up to it if you have the ability to. You can also gain armor. Right now you have 0 armor. If you play a card that grants you armor, you just move this up. But at the end of your turn, during the cleanups phase, all armor resets back down to 0. There's actually a really great turn sequence of like helper aid right here that I'm going to be using throughout the course of this game, so I know exactly what to do in each phase of the game, which is upkeep, draft, main phase, threat phase, and the cleanup phase. Threats are going to go out. This is your pile of action points right here. Cards that you play will have numbers in the upper left corner of them that represent how many action points that they may need in order to play. That's a 0, that's a 1, and you have 3. You can gain a maximum of 6, but you can always spend it and then gain 1 back. So it kind of like swaps itself out. So that's part of the strategy to the action points. Over here are all the cards that we're going to be using throughout the course of the game in order to upgrade our deck, and then of course upgrade the cards that we get for the deck as well. Up here you have 6 different levels of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can guess, these increase in power as you go up. This is our level right now. This is our level marker. We are level 1. So in the beginning of the game, after we complete the upkeep phase and go into the draft phase pretty much says that we take the top 3 cards of whatever our highest level is, we pick one of those cards, and that actually comes to our hand for the round. When I say the highest level that we can get is because we can actually train ourselves. There's a symbol within the game, you may not be able to see it, but it's like this little red arrow here, where you can take this and move it up, thus making you a little bit stronger for the next draft phase. The thing is that after that draft phase, after you pull from the higher level, it all goes back down. Whenever our character levels up, which I'll explain again as we go forward, the whole thing moves forward. That includes if you trained up here and you leveled up, both would go forward. So it's kind of a cool way to really get some powerful cards early in the game, but you don't have to worry about waiting until you get to level 6 in order to get it. Whenever you choose a card, you would then take the top of the threat deck over here. This threat deck will change whenever you play different bosses because there are different types of threats within the threat deck. Here we have the blue cards and the green cards mixed together. There's also a purple set of cards that'll be for a different set of bosses. Whenever you take a card from the top of one of these decks here, this is a core card, you would slide it into the sleeve here. So now you have a brand new card for your game. This has not been created yet, at least as far as I know of, where you have this card up front and on the back is a threat. Now, you're not supposed to look at the threats whenever you get them. I just figured I'd show you, to get an idea of what it is. But the way that it works is that you would play this, it would go to your discard pile, and then once it cycles through your deck again, you would have to fight the threat in order to pull it back to your hand in order to, use it once again. When buying upgrades, these actually will slide in between the cards that you made for your deck. So if you notice, there's actually a open slot here that you can look right through. If I wanted this, let's say a legitimate play here, I would have to spend the credits in the upper right corner, which is 3. I can then purchase this and it slides in between. Now this card has gotten a boost, where in this case it gains me more money. So when I play it, it does something better. However, whenever I fight it later on, this one actually doesn't have anything, but there are other cards here that power up the enemies in a way by giving them more attack, more defense, more health, all different types of bad other effects. You are able to see what the cards do for the enemies before you purchase them, if that helps you make your decision any better. But overall, this is what you really want to do in order to be able to upgrade your deck and make the most out of all the cards you gain. Come back here throughout the course of your play of Unstoppable. Let's put those right here for now. Final thing I do want to talk about in here is the anatomy of these cards. In the upper right, again, are the action points that you would need in order to be able to play them. Right below that is their faction. There are 4 different factions to the game. And I actually think all 4 are represented here. You have the Order, you have the Silvers, you have the Junkers, and you have the Viren. Of course, our character is a Viren, so she's going to do really good with those. But a lot of her cards also play off of Order cards as well. It's important to have... You either want to have all the same or a variety of factions within your deck, because there are special abilities on the bottom of cards. I don't think any of these really have any of them that play off of either how many different factions you have or how many of the same faction. And I'll almost guaranteed find them as I start going through all these cards here. And then I've already kind of explained what the anatomy is of the upgrade cards are. In the upper right is how many credits it costs for them to play. Or at least put inside of a card to boost it up. Certain ones have abilities in the middle of them, usually some way of reducing it. So like this flow skin armor here would cost 2 less if I added it to a Viren. There are 2 different types of cards in the game, Tactic and Ally, and it'll tell you exactly what this can upgrade. So this will upgrade an Ally, all these upgrade Tactics. Tactics will have like this yellowish color to them, Allies will be blue, so it's really a quick view that you can see. There are some equipment that go for both, so always make sure to see what it is that maybe you can benefit from to get the card easier. Also, be sure to check on the bottom what it does for the enemy. All right, so I have my starting hand of 3 cards. You actually draw these at the beginning of the game. It's the only time you ever really draw. And now we're going to go ahead and go into the upkeep phase, where we would gain 3 action points, we would fresh any allies, and we resolve any upkeep effects. Prior to this, we would need to have put out any threats. At most, you're going to have, or at least you're going to have 3 threats within this area. There are keywords to certain enemies that would cause you to put more out. So the way we're going to do this is you just kind of pick them up and you plop them down right here. And this is actually a pretty good spread of different keywords as well, and different types of enemies that we are going to have to go up against for this first round. So first, this Back Alley Blade Master has a 2 attack. To determine the health of a character, you add up their attack and their defense. Whatever that number is will be what their total health is. So because this has a 2 attack and that's just a 2 there, this is a 2 health card, so I need to do 2 damage to it to get rid of it. They have the Rage ability, which means if they hit me, I would have to discard an ally. Whenever you play an ally, it stays in play for the remainder of your for the round until you level up, in which case then it gets shuffled back into the discard pile, unless somebody has Rage and makes you get rid of it otherwise. Over here, this Virian Doe has Taunt. Taunt characters, they like all the attention put right on them. I have to beat a taunt before I target anything else. Now this has 2 attack and a skull symbol right here for defense. This matches to whatever level your boss is at. Right now it's a 0, so this Viren only has a 2. But if this happened to be down here, that's a 1, it would be a 2 attack with a 1 defense, so that is a 3 health character that I would need to defeat in order to be able to hit any of the other ones. And this thief right here, this thief is your most common one. This is going to have the strikes on the end of it. Right now he just has 1 health, but he will get stronger as the boss gets stronger as well. Also, occasionally enemies will give you benefits. So this Black Alley Blade Master, when defeated, will give me a credit, which is awesome. I prefer the ones that do damage to other things, which we'll see as well. But again, priority-wise, what you want to defeat, because sometimes something like this could really help you out, getting that 1 extra credit, powering up a card. Speaking of powering up a cards, we finished the upkeep phase. Now we're in the draft phase. We are level 1. We're going to go to level 1 deck. We're going to draw the top 3 cards, and we're going to look at these 3 cards, and we're going to choose which one of these we want to add to our hand. So I got 3 different factions right here. I have Viren, I have Silver, and I have the Junkers. The Dangerous Dealings would gain me 2 money. So a thing that they're going to do for future, like the final printing of this game, is the wordings here are a little bit small. I think they're going to try to make them a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to read, maybe word some of the things or whatever. I don't think they look that bad. I have really good eyesight, so it really doesn't matter to me. But I can see how some people may see this writing is a little bit smaller. It's all right. Don't worry. They're looking into that. They're going to fix it. It's going to be beautiful and amazing. You're still going to get this awesome artwork. You're still going to have all of the different abilities for here. So for example, like this one would give me 2 money. And then if I have 2 or more upgrades in your hand or anywhere else on this card, I would deal 2 damage. So I don't have any upgrades, so it doesn't matter to me. Silver Quarter is an ally. I would play this person down, and then when I exhaust them, which is turning them to the side, I would gain a shield and Conspire. Conspire requires another member of the same faction in order to play, so if I had another silver out on the field or in my hand, then I would be able to do 1 damage. Unfortunately, I do not. However, I think I am going to take this Viren Solidarity just to have another Viren card in my hand. This is a tactic card, so I play it. I gain 2 action points back, which is awesome. Does cost 1, but I do get a gain of 1. And then I gain 1, credit or 1 money in order to add. So this is going to go to my hand. These 2 would actually go to the bottom of the deck right there. I would then take the top card from the threat deck and slide this in, and voila, there is my card. All right, here we go. Let's get this party started. What do I want to do first? I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play my To the Rescue card. This has the Unite keyword to it, which is X, Unite X. X is the number of unique factions in hand or in play. This is currently in play. It is a order faction, and then of course I have Virens in my hand. So 2, Unite 2, so that means this gains me 2 credits, which is great. So it's nice to always have some credits. I'm going to move this down here. As like I'm going to have like a bunch of different things going on here between allies and whatnot. So this is just the card that I've played right now. And you can play as many cards as you want so long as you have the action points in order to play them. And remember, when you beat a card, it comes to your hand. So you're gaining cards as you're using them. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to use those 2 credits that I just got in order to buy this 1000 watt arc capacitor. And I'm going to put it on this new Viren Solidarity that I just got, because it doesn't do any damage, but it does give me a lot of useful things. So I've spent the 2 credits. I'm going to put this in here in the middle. So now when I play this card, I gain 2 action points, 1 credit. So I gain a credit back already, and I get to do 2 damage to anything I want. Well, in this case, I have to do it on the taunt character. And after you immediately spend something, you get to go ahead and refill. Got a laser pistol. This goes to an ally. When that ally exhausts, they do 1 damage. That's pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and play my Viren Solidarity. So I'm going to use one of my action points in order to do that. So then I gain 2 action points back. I'm going to have a lot of action points here. I can feel it. Gain a credit, and then my 2 damage I'm going to go ahead and do to the Virian Doe right here. It doesn't have any additional armor, so boom, boom, this is gone. This flips over, goes to my hand, which is spare credits, so that's just more money added to my hand. I know that the strikes will always do 1 damage, and that's what the thief here is, so I'm going to use one of these tokens that I have, or one of my action points, I should say, to pay for the strike to do 1 damage to this thief. So this is gone, and into my hand is another strike. So then we just have the Back Alley Blade Master. I'm going to go ahead and use another action point to do Defend the Voiceless, which is in my hand. What Defend the Voiceless does is it moves up my training marker 1 spot. So this is what I was talking about. Then this would go bloop right there. So when I go and do the draft phase, I'll be drafting from this pile instead of this one. So slightly better cards. Defend the Voiceless also has Focus X, where I would gain a certain amount of shields depending on the number of cards of this faction in my hand and in play, which should be 2, because it's this one, and then I played one not too long ago, so that's a 2. If I was level 3, I could lose any amount of armor that I had and deal that much damage, so it would be a good damage dealer, but for right now, I just gained 2, which is fine, and that'll protect me from the Blade Master. I think the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this spare change because it's free, get myself 1 more credit, and then that's going to be the end of my turn. Now, we go to the threat phase. In the threat phase, each one of the threats will be dealing damage to my hero. I can kind of do it in any order I want, but each threat would deal the damage that's listed on them. In this case, for the Blade Master, it's 2. The first things that would go down is armor, so that would go 1, 2. If I had any more left over, then my health would start going down. So I protected myself. I was able not to worry about taking too much damage. I didn't kill it. I really wanted to kill it to keep going, but that's okay. These all now go to the cleanup phase. Discard all the tactic cards that I played for this turn. They go right there. I would lose any unspent action, so I had 2 unspent, which was awful, but I'm just going to reload it back up to 3 to get ready for the next turn. Reset armor to 0, that's fine. Refill the battlefield. So we have 1, we'll put you over here for 2, and another raged character right here. I don't have any allies yet, so that's fine. The last thing we would do is we would advance the danger level by 1. We're still in 0, so that means this guy's a 2, 2, and a 1. And in my hand currently, I'm only able to do 1 damage. So I got to figure out what I can do to do a little bit more and hit more guys. Maybe we'll find something good over here in the draft phase. So let's go 1. Hey, a Viren. Perfect. 2 and 3. All right, so out of the 3 cards I got a Junker card, Improvised Plan, 1 damage. And this is the first card you play this turn. Randomly select 2 cards from your hand. Those cards cost 1 action point less. Practice Grounds for the silvers, it does 2 damage, which is great, and I can randomly choose 1 card from my discard pile, add it to my hand. It is 2 action points, so it's kind of a risk versus reward thing because you don't know what you're going to get. But I think I'm just going to kind of stick with the Virens right now. I want to try to get as many of those as possible, and I think it'll work. This will give me 2 armor, which is awesome, and then Focus X, which is the number of cards of this faction in your hands or in play. If I can try to keep gaining more Virens, because like if I get back up to level 2, I can get that ally into play. Because if the ally is in play, then that will count towards the focus, and the more I have on my hand, the better. So I'm going to take the Viren Tactics, and these are going to go to the bottom of this deck. And this is going to go back here. Let's go ahead and take this, making our card right there. Beautiful. And I think I'm going to take the 5 credits that I have, and I'm going to grab this, what is this, repeating, whatever it is. So this is 3 instances of 1 damage apiece. So it's 3 damage in total, but I can go 1, 1, and 1. So it's kind of a way to spread it out. So I'm going to take all 5 of my credits and buy this. If it was for a council card, it would be 2 less, but it's the best I can do right now. I wanted the Viren ally so I can put this card on them, which grants me 2 armor and an additional action point, but that's all right. So we'll figure it out from there. There's another one for council. This goes for tactics. Gain the top card of the level 1 or 2 deck in your hand. Oh, that's amazing. Julita is poor once again. That's fine. She's a teenager. We kind of expect that. We will spend one of our action points to do the Virion tactics. First off, I gain 2 armor, and then ideally I do 4 instances of 1 damage apiece. And this is where things are going to get interesting, because I can go 1, 2, and then I can go 3 and 4. So ideally I've destroyed both of these now. When I defeat this Triumverate Enforcer, okay, so this is part of the Triumverate, boss cards that were shuffled into the deck. When defeated, he does 3 damage. He'll do 3 damage to any one of these characters that I want. Because I already have the 2 damage going up against the Blade Master, I've defeated that already, so obviously it's going to go to the Thief. These are all going to be defeated one after another. So I've defeated the Enforcer. Flipping this over shows that it's a special ability or a special effect that happens. When this card enters your hand or enters play, I deal 1 damage to any of the boss characters, and then I put it in my discard pile. Again, I can't deal damage to the main boss. I can only do it to these. To be honest with you, the casino has the best ability to it, where I can pay 2 credits to deal 1 damage, so I can just kind of move things along faster. I need to do 5 damage to it in order to get rid of it, so I'm just going to start with that. This would go to the discard pile, and now we've defeated the Blade Master as well. I have, oh, all right, cool. An ally has entered my hand. That is amazing. I also gained a credit from the Blade Master. So we'll put that down in there, and then we've defeated the Thief as well, which is a strike just coming right to my hand. So I used this one, that's fine. I am going to use another action point right now just so I can put down my ally. She's going to stay in play until I go through this deck and it's forced to go into my discard pile. Aunt Ordenia, or Ada, I guess, whatever, is a Varen. I could exhaust her to do a Focus X strike, which is X is the number of cards of this faction in my hand or in play, which is awesome because if this was in my hand, she would do 2 damage. All right, we do the threat phase. Nothing is here to hit us. Now we're going to go ahead and clean up. That's going to go here. This would unexhaust if she was already exhausted. Armor goes back to 0. I didn't use it. That's fine. Threats go out. 1, 2, 3. Now this is, all right, there we go, 3. All right, so what we have here, in the next draw, I'm going to level up. I'm not going to level up now because none of these are going to do that. You put 3 threats into the field. Fast cards right here don't count towards threats. So if I had a fast card out here, I would just have to keep drawing until I had 3, none of them being fast. If I ever have an empty deck and there are no threats, if your deck is empty when there's no active threats, so it's like whenever like I begin a round or whatever and this is empty when I'm trying to put threats in, or if it's empty when I'm trying to put new threats in, then that's when I level up. But I'll explain that when we do that next round. Speaking of which, this does go down 1. Every one of these guys go up by 1 now, so these are 2 health apiece thieves because of the 1. I also have a special ability where I can junk any cards from the upgrade pile and then replace them with new ones from the deck, which I'm probably going to do that. I don't need this Mind Link. What else don't I need? That's really good. That's for an ally. I could hopefully, I wish I had more money to do that. These both grant money. Do I want both of these? Legitimate pay, legitimate play. I'm gonna leave one of them out. So I can then put this here. And remember, I'm doing this because this is what I happen to get as a bonus for the boss being at the level they are. That's great. This is awesome. This is a tactic ally for a Viren. Refresh X allies. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so now I get to go ahead and draw 3 cards here and pick one, add to my hand. All right, 2 of the cards I have are Junkers, the Hired Guns and the Scourge. They both have the bargain ability to them, which is pretty much in order to activate that ability, I have to pay a certain amount. In this case, bargain 4, I'd have to pay 4. Bargain 3, I have to pay 3. But it's reduced by 1 for each card of the same faction in my hand or play, including itself. So really, it's a bargain 2 and a bargain 3. Wonderful bargain 3 to do 2 instances of 2 damage, but because I don't have many Junkers and I don't have any money, it's not going to really make any sense. So I'm going to go with this optical overlay for the order. It is 2 action points to use, 1 guaranteed damage. I can move my marker up 1, and then I can deal X damage with Unite, which is the number of unique factions in my hand and in play. Let's go ahead and put these level 1s back on the bottom and grab this. All right, and here we go. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead. I did refresh my 3 action points, but I am going to use 2 to activate the optical overlay. I do 1 damage, and then I can deal X damage, X1 damage. So I'm going to deal 3 damage, 3 instances of 1 damage. 1 for itself, and then X1 damage, where X is the number of unique factions in player in hand. 1, 2. This actually also moves up 1 as well. When I level up, both of these would actually move up. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what I do here. It's 1, 2, and then I have a 3rd one here. So this strike is going to come back to my hand. I can use her ability to deal 1 damage to another one of these thieves. So at least I'll be able to beat that one. And sadly, the best that I can do, because I don't have any other ways of making additional damage, is I can spend my last action to do a single strike to hit an enemy. Now, damage will carry over, so whatever I do to this will carry over to the next round. Unfortunately, it's still alive. It's now a 2 because this isn't defense, this is additional attack, but it's always these 2 added together will equal its health. So it may not have any defense, but its attack is now a 2, and it hits me for 2. Why is it 2? Because it's base 1 plus 1 for wherever the danger level is. That is why that is a 2. That's why these thieves get really annoying, and they don't give you anything good because your strikes are all 1 ability point for only 1 damage. All right, so I did that. That was the threat phase right there. I down to 8 health is already great. Let's go ahead and clean up here. So that goes there. We're going to undo that. You go down. You're still there. We're now going to go ahead and move characters out here. Now, I need to refill this area with up to 3 enemies on it. Technically, I still need 2 more because this Triumverate informants have the fast keyword, and they do not count towards the 3 that would be here. But because I need to put stuff here, I have leveled up. And just like down here, you have a nice little checklist that you have to do from top to bottom in this exact order in order to be able to level up. First, we advance both of the level discs. So they go, whoosh, both up, right? It was here, it was here. Yes, there we go. So I can draw from the level 3 decks this next turn, and then after that, I can grab a level 2. So now anything that's in here immediately gets discarded over here. So all my allies would go in my discard pile, and I would have to draw down to 3 cards. I have 3 in my hand already, so that doesn't really matter. That works. And then I can optionally trash any 1 card. And I'm just going to go into here, and I'm going to find any one of these threats and just kind of toss it off to the side. So that's 1 less strike that I got to worry about, which is both a good thing because it's a weak card gone, but it's also a bad thing because it's the weakest enemy gone, at least in my opinion. This now, actually no, I'm sorry. I got to resolve the boss specific effects, which in this case, I take the top card from here and I put it into the deck, shuffle this all together, and ta-da, there we go. Hey, a sand mother, that's got to be something new. All right, so we're going to take this. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. So again, fast don't count. So that's here. So I even have another card all the way over to the side that you currently can't really see very well. Oh boy. Oh, and we have, Fury. Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, this is a bad round, and I will explain why momentarily. We can go down here to the next level for our boss. I can pay my, 1 credit in order to trash a card, but I'm not going to do that. I kind of need everything I have right now because we got a lot to deal with. All right, first I need to find something good. Please give me something good. Here's the problem. These are great level 3 cards. By all means, I got a silver and 2 orders. National target. I can trash a card and then unite, deal X1 damage. X is the number of unique factions and hands are in play. That's 2 actions. Oh, goodness. Unleash your strength. I can move my training up 1, trash 1 active threat with damage, which is basically get rid of it completely. and then dig up a secret. So I can choose one card from our discard pile. I don't have a discard pile, so it doesn't matter. But I can conspire to gain an action back, which is required another card of this faction in hand or in play, which I do not have. Unfortunately, the only good one that actually could do anything, oh my goodness, oh, this is terrible. Oh, I can't even do Unleash Your Target because it's I'm going to take this one, and I'm only going to take it because I'm going to be able to explain something that's going to happen. I'm dead right now, FYI. Yeah, that's the crazy part of this game. You can be in the greatest position ever, and then all of a sudden it just goes pear-shaped before you know it. So I'm going to grab this, going to add this to my hand. I only have 1 credit, so I can't even buy anything, unfortunately. Now, the problem with over here that we have with our threat deck is that not only do we have 5 threats on the field, but each one of them have pretty much gone up 1 in health. The fast cards, again, do not count, so that's why we have 3 active threats. Any card that's on top of your deck right here is considered on deck. They're not part of your active threats. They cannot hurt you, but sometimes their effects, like the taunt right here, go into play. So I have to beat this doe and this sand mother before I hit anything else unless I have something that avoids taunt. Here's the issue again. I have everything that's 1 action point. 1, 2, 3. I can spend all 3 of my action points right here to defeat this doe, which is pretty much that. It's 1, 2, 3 damage. I would defeat it. It would come to my hand, which is great. But I would still have to worry about this sand mother right here. And then currently, all the rest of the things here on the board are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage to me because this is a shield marker. Even though this is 2 health, it's doing only 1 point of damage to me. And I have nothing else in my hand. So yeah, let's just go ahead. I'm going to spend all 3 here. We're going to play all 3 strikes. I could actually maybe go for that one because that's only 2. Let's just try that out. Let's see how that works. So we're going to spend 2 action points to do 2 strikes to go boom, boom, and we're going to hit this sand mother right here. So I actually, nope, I need to do it. I got to do 1 more. Look at that. Isn't that fun? This is why you upgrade things. So on the bottom, the sand mother actually does an additional point of damage to me, which I put an upgrade on this card to do. So that increased its health by 1, so it was 3 anyway. But now, because the doe isn't going to hit me, that's a little bit less damage I got to take. So I've defeated it. My marker will actually go up 1, and I would have gained Variant Solidarity, which I cannot play. So at least this goes up 1. Not that I think I'm going to be making it to the next round. I'm just going to move this over. I still got to put the taunt card into play at the end of round, but I can't do anything else because I don't have any more action points. This is going to end my turn, and I'm going to be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. Guess what I'm at? I'm at 1. I'm at 1 health already. Oh, that's fun. All right, put those back up here. Let's refill our threats. So now the doe comes into play. I don't have to worry about dealing with anything on top of the on deck because it's just rage. And yeah, oh boy, this goes down 1. I know there's a specific order that everything has to be done in. I just kind of do it the best I can. I've done everything for the cleanup phase. So now we're on to the next round. We did our upkeep of stuff. I can give myself my 3 action points back, which I do right now. And now I get to pick one of these cards. I'm just going to go with the level 3. Gotta go level 3 because they're the stronger cards and hopefully I'll find something I need. I'm going to take this Blades in the Dark. It is a silver class card or silver faction. It does 3 straight damage, which is awesome. If I had another silver card, I'd be able to do 2 additional damage, but I really just want it for the 3 damage and the 1 action point, which I can do right now. Plus, I didn't get any other Virans to help me out. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and shove this in here, creating a brand new card. Man, do I wish I had some money in order to be able to get some upgrades, but it is what it is. I got the 1 upgrade, which is fine. So first thing we're gonna do, we'll play that Blades in the Dark. We'll spend 1 action point, and I'll be able to do 3 damage right to the Varian Doe because that is right now a 3. So killing that will come to me. Nothing special happens to it, but at least I get money. I get money, so we'll just throw that down here. to gain another credit. I'm going to go ahead and play the Unleash Your Strength for an action. I'll be able to move up my marker one more, and I trash an active threat with damage. The only one that has damage right now is the Thief, and that's actually a strike card, so I have no issue trashing that, so this is out of the game. And then this actually goes up one. I really wanted this ally right here just to have another Viren ally, but I might find a really good Viren card next, so we'll see. Actually, we're not going to bother seeing because there's no way for me to survive any of this. Anywho, we're going to put this one down. We're going to pay our last action, even though we gain 2 actions back. Maybe I'll find some way to help myself. I do gain those 2 actions. I do gain 1 more credit. But then this guy also gives me 2 damage from the upgrade that I did. I know this is a... the informant here, when I flip it over, is just going to give me the ability to do 1 damage to something here. And yes, I can do 1 damage to anything on the field, but that's not going to really do me too much. I think I'm going to go after the cyclist right here with that 2 damage, because that's 2 health. I will gain another credit from it. And the card I gain is Defend the Voices, So I would be able to move my marker up again, and I'd be able to heal, or defend with some shields. All right, that's really good. All right, so I'm going to actually take 2 away. All right, so now I have 4 credits again, which is awesome. I might be able to, I'm going to need that for something soon. How many Virens do I have in here? I have one. I have 1 Viren here. I really wish I had more. I can play Defend the Voices, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. My marker will move up again, and I'm going to focus X, gain shield X focus, so I have 2. So I do that. Now, this is going to move up here, which is great. Technically, I believe, and I can be corrected down in the description below, but I believe I am technically at level 4 right now because that's the highest I've been training. So that means I can trigger this other ability at the bottom of Defend the Voices, which is level 3+. I can lose any amount of shield in order to deal that much damage. That would be great. I'm actually going to retcon a little bit. Just give me 1 moment here. So I'm going to, before I play this, so we're backing up a little bit. So I've played this. Before I played this one, I've noticed that I can do something. First, I'm going to spend all my credits. This didn't give me any credits, so it's okay. This was back here before I played it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend those 4 credits that I got. I'm going to get this Ascendant Ritual. It's better if it goes on a silver card. I'm going to put it on this Viren right here, the one that I just got. But at the very least, this is going to give me a card that also does more damage as well. Plus, it's going to push me up technically 2 levels when I play it. So now I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to go ahead and spend an action point. My, training will go up by 2 now. So I'm actually at 5 instead of 4 for the next draft phase. Again, I would gain 2, and because of the level that I'm at, I can choose to lose any amount of armor. So I'm going to lose 2 to do 2 damage here, and then I'm going to go ahead and use this 2 damage on this one to defeat the Thief. So at the very least, I've survived another round. Amazing. I mean, I could have easily just said hands off the chess piece and whatnot and just let it fly, but then I would have immediately been dead. So we're having fun here. We're enjoying ourselves. That's the great thing about these games. You can take a look at them, go back a little bit. Nothing really changed. Previously, I was able to just kind of rewind it all and then start again. So that works. Of course, that goes to my hand as a strike. And then this is the Triumvirate minion, so that goes here, and then I get to deal a damage to the casino. Gotta also remember to refill here. What do we got? Oh my god, 6. Oh gosh, that's amazing. You gain an action point and 4 damage, which is nuts. And the bad guy only gets 1 strike. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, if I had Junkers to put that on, that'd be great. All right, so with that said and done, these are all tactic cards. They all go to my discard pile. My allies, of course, are going to be the last things I find. You watch. 1, 2, and a 3 right here. I don't think I'm going to get to it based off of everything, but Crazed 5. So this character right now has 1, 2, 3 health in total. Would do 1 damage. It has 3 armor, 4 technically with this. What Crazed is that when they hit the field, if my health is equal to or lower than the crazed number, then they would immediately take, this character would take 2 damage, this enemy would take 2 damage, this threat would take 2 damage, whatever the wording is for it. So if I have low health, crazed is great because it kind of deals free damage, but that means I have low health. All right, let's draw from level 5. Let's see what type of cool stuff we can get from here. Hey, a Viren, fantastic. All right, so I'm almost guaranteed to take that Viren, but right now we also have this ally right here from the order, Cadlin Prine, First Counselor. Each turn, this card counts as any one extra faction type to the end of turn. Okay, so she's order and then any other one faction, which really will help build up stuff like Unify and whatnot, but I'm not going to use her. What do we got here? The Overseer Caliger, an ally, another ally. Gain 4 money. Wow. Until the end of this turn, all bargain effects you receive gain this effect. Deal 3 damage. Jeez, that'd be a great junker to have. But we have Star Keller Farnia right here, an ally. I can exhaust this ally to either gain 2 ability points, or action points, I should say. I can either gain 2 action points, or I can gain 1 action point and do 2 damage. That's, of course, what we're going to be taking. So these go on the bottom. We create another brand new monster core card hybrid, and I have no money, which I wish I did, because then I would have been able to, when exhaust, gain 1 action point and 2 shield, or refresh an ally. Oh man, oh geez, I wish I had money. I forgot to put this down 1. Not that it matters. We are pretty much going to be ending this now. Anywho, I would have all 3 of my discs back. So let's go ahead and just spend 2 of them to put down my new ally that I got. We will exhaust our ally to gain 1 back, and then I can deal 2 damage. I'm going to deal, well, I have to deal it to here. Oh, see, and that's why. The taunt is going to screw me over. So I can deal 2 damage here, and then it's pretty much, this is a 3 health card. It does 1 damage with 2 additional things as shields. I can spend 1 action point to do a single strike, to do a 3rd damage to this, getting this off the field and into my hand. What do you do? To the rescue, unite, X money. X is a number of unique factions. I would have been able to gain 2 money off of this. Not that it matters. I'm sure, why not? Let's put down, we'll gain 2 credits to my name. And that's going to really be the end of that. I wanted to hit this Enforcer because this Enforcer would have done 3 damage to a card of my choice, which I would have been able to kind of chain stuff together. Unfortunately, because I have no more cards in my hand, the threat phase happens. These guys hit me and I go down 2-0. There's a few words that come to mind that describe Unstoppable as like a single word that you could use. First one would be brutal. Like, this game takes a turn really fast. You think you have it all under control. You think you have yourself all set and ready to go where you're able to take on any threat that happens. And all of a sudden the boss moves up in abilities once and you are completely thrown for a loop. Or you can't get the cards that you need to make your deck better from the different levels of upgrades, and then you're just thrown into a corner. So brutal is definitely one particular word for this. Another word is addicting. Again, this is now over a dozen times I've played this game and I have yet to win once, but rather than getting frustrated, rather than getting annoyed, rather than being like, oh my God, this game is so unbalanced, yada, 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 I just want to keep going back and trying again. I've come close. The Harbinger has 12 health. I got it to 11. I just needed to do that 1 more health, and I'm pretty sure that I screwed up along the way to make that, you know, not happen. But this particular one that I was doing, the Triumvirates, or I forget how you pronounce them, this is only the 2nd time I've ever played them, so I'm still getting used to how they work. This is the first time I've ever used this particular character, just because I wanted to see how they ran and, you know, try something different for on camera, see how that may work out. I don't know. There's 1,000 different variants to this game, and they change every time you play, and that to me is one of the most exciting features about this. I love deck building games for the fact that every time you play, you have a different deck. Yes, you have strategies in your mind about what you want to achieve, but that doesn't mean you're going to get them because it all depends on how the deck is shuffled. With this game, not only is your deck going to change, your enemies are going to change, and the equipment that you use to enhance them changes every time too. There's so many different ways this game goes, even within the first round. I just want to play more and more and more, see what else comes back, kind of refine my strategies and ways that I want to play the game, and hope that one time I get lucky enough and beat a boss in the normal difficulty. But now I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your opinions on Unstoppable? I'd love to hear what you guys think about this and how it flows. Have you watched any of the other gameplays for this game that are currently out there? And if it's June 18th or beyond, have you checked out the Kickstarter yet? That is down in the description section below. You'll be able to use the link down there, bounce on over to Kickstarter and see that. Maybe you're a backer already. Maybe you're on the fence and this gameplay shifted you one way or another. I'm telling you right now, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's very difficult to get through. Yes, it is something that you just, I don't know, me personally at least, want to just keep going back and doing it again and again and again, thinking to myself, I could get it this time. I could get it this time. I got it this time. And it's just exciting building up to that way, even if things go sour really fast. But that's all right. That just, you can't win them all. And Unstoppable is one of those games where you want to feel that type of power. And when you get it, man, you're going to unleash it. With that all said and done, thank you again to Renegade Games for sending me a prototype version of the game in order to be able to show off to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this preview run for the game. Yes, it didn't turn out as well as I was hoping it would, but I believe I showed off a lot of the game and explained as much as I could about the different mechanics and the ways to play it and whatnot, and get you excited out there to maybe get your hands on this when it actually releases, and you can yourself figure out how to become unstoppable. You have been absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. To be sure not to miss any future Unstoppable action or any other game I happen to put out for you to enjoy, be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. To support the channel even further, there are ways to do that down in the description section below. But in all honesty, in this situation, going over to the Kickstarter, following it, checking it out, sharing it with your friends, things along that way really goes a long way as well. Plus, sharing this video, leaving your like, leaving your comment, subscribing to the channel, all that as well is just a huge, huge help. And I thank you all so, so much. Really, I can't thank you all enough. You are absolutely amazing. As always, take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. I hope to have more early copies of stuff to be able to show you on things that are coming to Kickstarter soon. But otherwise I got a lot of other things coming down the line of new stuff that are being released for Transformers, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, all that amazing Renegade stuff, and of course, other new games I happen to get as well. You guys have a good one, take care, and I will see you in the next one.